Welcome back to another episode of our abandoned STI presented by Turn 14 Distribution. Today we get this car back to roller status. Our first order of business today is to replace the caliper seals. We overlooked this previously, but just a couple days ago, I had a look at these calipers and look at the seals there. They are completely worn out. The rear ones are actually good. So we are going to service this, and then we're gonna bolt up a whole bunch of other stuff, including the hubs, and what I'm really excited about are wheels and tires, which I can't wait to show you what we've got. Safe to say, this caliper is gonna need a good cleanup job before we address these seals. With the caliper now somewhat clean, we're gonna remove the dust boots, which are the ones that we wanna deal with in the first place, which is why we're taking them all apart. And you can see there's this small little provision right in here that you wanna stick a pick in, and then you just kind of turn and it'll slowly pull that dust boot out. Oh, so close. There it goes. Okay, now with that out, let's see here. Just pull on it, and it should pull the whole boot out here. And here's the reason why we are replacing it. As you can see,
she is shot.
Really rough shape. With the remaining 3 dust boots out, what we're gonna do is go a little bit further and replace some of our piston seals. And in order to do that, you're gonna have to push these pistons out. There are 2 ways to do that. The first one being compressed air. And should slowly push that piston out. Oh, there we go, one came out. One always comes out.
Fire away.
Yeah. Because that's the only way. Once one is out, you can't really do the others, but as you saw, there it is. Our piston is out. I'll quickly show you how to do it with 2 pry bars. What you would do is you just have to grab both sides. Actually, sorry, before that, you have to make sure your bleeders are cracked. So once the bleeders are cracked, what you would do is come in on both sides here. I don't know if you guys can see this, but it's kind of tough to do this with the piston sitting this way, but you just have to be very equal on both sides and then just pry up, and then slowly the piston will come out like that. So that's another way to remove the remaining 3. And then once you have them out, you can see in here is the seal. You probably can't really see that, but in there, here, let me get the light for you. In there is the seal that we're dealing with, and to remove that, once again, we just take our little pick, you come in and then you just grab the seal, turn it, and then you try this over and over until you get under it enough, and it'll pull the seal out. There we are. Usually what I'll do is use my other hand to just help it. Bam, okay. And there is our seal. For our caliper rebuild kit, we are using the Centric Parts brand one. Centric Parts is a brand that we've come to know and really like. The quality is excellent, and if you didn't know, it's the same company that owns StopTech. So the quality is definitely there. As you can see, they come with 4 dust boots and 4 seals. So essentially what you're gonna do is the same process as we did before. And now what we're gonna do is take our rubber seals, drop them in our brake fluid and let them soak there for a second, and then pull one of these guys out and drop it in place.
That's not any brake fluid either, PT. That's StopTech 660.
DP, are we using the good stuff?
That is the good stuff, buddy.
Whoa, the good stuff for this job.
Ooh, look at that.
Holy smokes.
Even our seals get treated to the good stuff.
I'm gonna take my Centric dust boot seal here, slide it on as so. Just get it to settle in place there. There we are. And now I'm going to use liberal amounts of our brake fluid again, all the way around on the bottom here. And this is the part that is a little frustrating and can become pretty difficult. you have to push the piston back in, and sometimes it either goes in,
Yeah.
or you really have to fight with it. So let's see. Slowly, there we go. Oh yes, okay.
He's a winner.
That one went in pretty easily. We struggled with a couple of the other ones on the other caliper where we literally had to like teeter-totter back and forth to get it in there. But now that it's in, what I'm gonna do is just push the piston all the way back up. It's gonna puke some more fluid. And now with that dust boot, as you can see, you just wanna push it into the groove and just have it align up in there, just like that. There we go. And that is your procedure in a nutshell. We're gonna do it 3 more times, then we're moving on.
Now that Pete's reassembled those front calipers, it is time to install these new hub assemblies. We thought about ordering the OE ones, which are very pricey, but we decided to opt for Centric's premium hub assemblies instead. We've had really good reliability from Centric Parts, so we figured why not save a few bucks. I think these are about half the price, so significant savings there. And as you can see, it's got a nice big beefy bearing on the back side here. So these just bolt up to the, I want to call this a knuckle, not really a spindle since there isn't a axle stub on it. So bolt go in from the back, as you should always do. And three more of those, and we'll have a brand new hub assembly in place. Man, this car is looking so fresh and clean.
I know, wow.
These new brakes are going to be really nice when I'm daily driving it too. These are our go-to rotors these days. These are StopTech Sport rotors. This is like Frank's hot sauce around here. We put this on everything, and that's because they're really good rotors. As a matter of fact, we ran these on the AS2000 in season 1, and we're still rocking the original StopTech Sport rotors on that car after 1 billion hot laps. So very durable stuff. It should really take the heat well. You can see it's got non-directional vanes in it. It's like pillar vanes, but you can have a look in StopTech's directions, and the slots are supposed to sort of be oriented forward this way. So we are going to do it that way. And I was looking for the, you know, the little magic locating bolt hole.
Oh, that's the BMW life.
We don't have that on here, so on she goes.
DP, somebody commented that the previous rotors that we took off could have been cleaned up and used, actually.
Those DVAs?
Yes.
Oh man, that guy either has an amazing sense of humor or he's so delusional. By the time you machine the rust off those things, you'd have nothing,
nothing left.
Nothing
Yeah,
left.
yeah.
You'd have a nice frisbee maybe.
Yeah. Well, there's always somebody trying to troll us or tell us what to do, right?
Keep the comments coming, boys. We love it. So, and I love this. This is a lot of freshness. And I think it's now time to put those calipers on, PT. Time for some brake pads. And for those, we have gone with StopTech Sport pads. We've used these on a variety of cars before, including the AS2000 back in the day. And we found them to be a good street pad and a decent track pad. They're definitely not going to take like, you know, the huge temperatures of a race pad, but as a dual purpose pad, we quite like them. And we're not sure if this car is going to need more brake pad at the track or not, but we'll find out by testing these out. And in the meantime, I think they'll be a really good street pad. You can see they've got quite an aggressive chamfer on them and that center groove to, you know, keep noise and dust down. So these old brake lines are, well, old. They're not in, I mean, it is a braided line, as you can see under here. It's just this plastic sheathing that's coming off, but they are pretty rusty. And guess what? We got new ones. So we're swapping these freshies in there. These are DOT lines from StopTech, and they are not abused and rusty. So easiest install in the world.
We're trying to make this thing look new again.
Fresh, that's right, ultra fresh. This is a restoration project, and we are restoring everything, including brake lines. Speaking of more exciting jobs, this thing uses rear drums in the back for the parking brake or the emergency brake, and it involves a million little springs and clips and doodads, which are pretty sure invented by Satan, because they are pure evil. There's few jobs in the world I like less than doing drum brakes, so probably pass that off to Peter in a moment. But to quickly summarize, we are using all the same stuff in the rear as we did in the front. So these are our Centric premium hubs. Those bolt up via magic through these 4 bolt holes. We are using new StopTech brake lines. We are using new StopTech Sport rotors, which have the integrated hub on the back, or the integrated drum portion back here for the e-brake. And of course, we're using StopTech Sport pads. So that's our rear setup.
DP, you were right. That parking brake was an absolute nightmare. Those little clips, they just do not want to go on. I don't know why Subaru designed it like that. There's other parking brakes that the clips just slide right in and without any type of fuss. Nevertheless, it is all together, and boy, oh boy, what a difference. Like, look at this. From the before with everything being rusted to now, this looks like pretty much new. So with that being done, we're gonna put the wheels and tires on and show you what we have. But before we do that, I wanna put some of the aero pieces onto this car. So when we do put the wheels on, it's gonna look mega awesome.
Man, this thing is looking good, PT.
I know.
It's aggressive. I like it a lot. It's we set the wing angle to the most novice angle possible, and I don't know. I'm kind of regretting it. I'm kind of wishing it was at a more angle of attack. But that's the beauty of this thing, is that it's adjustable. So if we don't like it, we can tune that up. And the fit and finish on it's really quite good. And the paintwork, as you can see, matches extremely well. And that's because our buddy Luke at 242 Customs, just up the road from us, came in with a scanner and scanned it and then took it back to a shop and painted it, and the match is really very good. So happy that that turned out so well, because having a wing that clashes with the body or a front lip that clashes with the body would not be a great thing. So as you can see, Pete's just tossed the Greddy front lip on here. It fits so well, it just kind of like snaps in place. We don't even have it fastened properly yet, but that's how good the Japanese are at this stuff.
Damn, it looks
fits
good.
really good, and man, it fits like a glove. I love it. So I think with those exterior details semi-installed, this
Is it time for the big reveal, DP?
I think maybe we're there, Pete. I think maybe it's time for some wheels and tires. Bam, and here we are, PT. Look at this sexy rolling stock. It looks good.
Yes.
Woo. For you guys who don't know, first of all, shame on you. And second of all, these are Enkei NTO3 Plus M's. What I consider one of the most classic wheel designs out there. I've always loved these wheels, and admittedly, they're quite unusual with this secondary ring.
Yeah, that's what I kind of love about them so
Very
much.
distinctive, and I think it's kind of a love or hate thing. You'll either love it or you'll hate it. I've always loved it. I think it gives it a really cool
racy
rally style look, and it's got like a classic. I think it's 12 spokes, but then with this added in, it just, I don't know, it takes it up a notch for me. It makes it more aggressive somehow. So these are an 18 by 9.5, I think, Pete.
Yep.
And we've wrapped them.
Plus 40.
Plus 40, okay. Oh, and before I go on to the tires, I should mention, we've had people ask before about the dual valve stem setup. That comes on all of Enkei's racing line of wheels, and that's so that you can purge the air out one stem while adding nitrogen in the other, and that gives you a full fill of nitrogen, so you won't have any air left over inside the tire. So it lets you, purge out of one, fill it in the other, cap them off, and you've got
race spec as they come, right?
Fully loaded nitrogen tire. And the benefits of nitrogen, if you don't know, is that it doesn't expand as much as air does, so you don't get as much pressure creep and as much pressure creep basically. So for those guys who are like doing endurance racing, who really want to keep their tires at a specific pressure for as long as possible, nitrogen is the way to go on that. So speaking of tires, we have gone with Advan 8008Rs. What I consider one of the greatest summer tires ever made. We ran these tires at Targa, Newfoundland on our FRS. If you haven't watched that series, go and watch it, because we had a ton of fun at Targa. And we tested this tire on our FRS versus the stock tire, and we were blown away how much grip these generated. And I'm sure they'll generate a ton of grip on this car too. So it is might be a 200 treadwear rated tire now, I think, Pete. I believe it is. It used to be 180 back when we ran it on the FRS.
Yes, it is 200.
I think it's 200 treadwear now. So that obviously makes it a good choice for any of you street class, autocrosser, or time attack type guys. And as we found, it's extremely durable. I don't know of another 200 treadwear tire that's more durable than this. Maybe the Hankook RS4s. Those are known to be very durable. But man, we got a long, long life out of these on our FRS. So. And they're also really quiet, very civilized street tire, which isn't always the case with a really aggressive 200 treadwear summer tire. So we think this is about as optimized a wheel and tire package as you can get for the street on a car like this. By the way, to fit these 40 offset 18 by 9.5s, to clear the STI calipers, you do need a 10 mil spacer, which we forgot to order. So these are 10 mil spacers off of the M3, so they're not hub centric for the STI. We're just going to throw them on here for mock-up, but we will order new STI-specific ones from ST Suspension that offer you that whole, centering ring setup that's a separate plastic
that makes it
module that
hub-centric.
plugs it in there. So it makes it, more versatile. So we'll show you that in a future episode. So this is just a quick mock-up.
And DP, you know what else I just ordered?
What's that?
Wheel studs, my man.
Yes.
Look at when you put that spacer
put that on there,
there.
you're not having a lot of thread left.
No, I know.
We're gonna catch two or
It's a
three
bit of a
tabs.
baff on my part because I just put those hubs in place, but
Yeah. Oh well, that's easy enough job to swap those out, and we're obviously going to need them because, as you'll see in a moment, we're only going to catch a few threads here. So, as you can see, I'm just putting the last lug nut on here. These are Muteki's SR48s. We source these from Mackin Industries out in California, and we like them because they're a forged steel nut, so they're extremely durable. As you can see, these come in this really cool chrome neon finish that they call it. So,
ooh,
yeah,
ah.
so fancy. It's like got some
Maybe
titanium.
the
purple
only
in there.
real bling on this car.
This is some bling. And at first I wasn't sold on this color on a silver wheel, but I think it actually looks pretty cool. Zip PT, we're coming down.
Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Oh man!
Look at that. We're touching fender here, Pete. Actually, I better come up a bit because
That is full stance nation there.
we didn't. I don't think we set any ride heights before we installed the.
No, we
car.
haven't. Well, and it is missing a motor.
It is.
But dude, this thing
It looks amazing.
looks freaking amazing.
It does. It looks awesome.
Wow.
It looks like a new car, doesn't it?
Looks so good,
It's
man.
come a long way over the last few weeks of work, mostly by Peter. And I gotta say, thank you, Peter, for making my new summer daily driver look so fresh.
Well, we'll
Just
see.
needs a
We'll
motor
see
and
who's
we're good to go.
the biggest vapor of us two here
It's
to
true, it's
figure
true.
out
We
that,
have some things
right?
to sort out between a time attack and a roll race and a vape competition to see who really gets to daily drive this thing. But we are one step closer to getting to those tests because I think, if I'm not wrong, PT, up next is putting a powertrain in this thing, transmission, and that rather sexy EJ207. So stay tuned for that, everyone, and thank you very much for watching. We really do appreciate all the support. If you do want to support us a little more than just hitting the like button and the subscribe button and the notification bell, we do have a Patreon page if you want to help out that way, or there's this new, what's it called, membership button out here on YouTube that you can try out as well. Basically, it's a way of donating a few bucks a month to help us out and, help make me fancy new summer drivers and just keep the channel going because running this operation ain't cheap, everyone. So thanks for watching, and we will see you very soon with an engine going in the hole.